Hello! Today we are going to draw this night scene illustration. Let's start. I'm going to draw this on the A4 canvas from Procreate. Here's a color palette, you can download it, link will be in the description. And let's take this first color and just drop it onto the canvas. We are going to draw the sky first. Let's create a new layer now. And now let's change the color to this second one. And here use the selection tool. At the bottom you should have rectangle selected and color fill option turned on. And let's select the rectangle like this. Just a small piece at the top of the canvas. Let's tap here to finish this. And now we're going to take another color, this one. And we're going to do it again. So let's tap on the selection tool. And this time let's select the rectangle at the bottom of the canvas, like this. Let's tap here to finish. And now we want to blur those colors. So let's go to adjustments and pick Gaussian blur. Swipe the pencil on the screen to add the Gaussian blur size. And my blur size is 98%. This way we've created a nice sky. Let's tap here to finish. And now we can add some stars. Let's create a new layer for this. And change the color. Let's take the last one color here. And the brush I'm going to use here is this one, Stars. You can download it for free, link will be in the description. The brush size I will use is 9%. And I'm just drawing some stars like this. Now we can add here a few extra stars. Let's go to Luminance and pick this brush Flower. The brush size I'm going to use is 5%. And I will just add two special stars here, like this. And now maybe two bigger ones, size 6%. And that's good. Now we want those stars to glow, so let's go to Adjustments and pick Bloom. Swipe your pencil on the screen to add the bloom size. And then you can change the options at the bottom, Transition, Size and Burn. You can use your own settings, or if you want to copy my settings, here they are. The main slide is 28%, transition 61, size 35 and burn 45. Let's tap here to finish. And now we can create a new layer to draw the moon. We are still going to use the same color. And let's change the brush, let's go to calligraphy and pick monoline. The brush size I'm using is 5% and we have to draw a circle. So let's do that and hold your pencil on the screen now and put your finger on the screen to make this a perfect circle. Let's color this inside and now we're going to use the eraser to change the shape of this moon. Let's tap again and change the brush here to monoline. And the brush size I'm using here is 77%. And just like before, I'm drawing a circle here. So I'm holding the pencil down and now using my finger to make a perfect circle. Here at the top we can pick Edit Shape and move this shape a little bit, like this. Let's tap with our finger on the screen and now we can continue erasing that part here. Now we can use the arrow tool to move this moon and rotate it and maybe change the size of it. At the bottom I have uniform option selected. This is good now, so let's tap here to finish this. And we are going to add here bloom effect as well. So let's do that. Swipe the pencil on the screen and then change the options at the bottom. My settings are main slide 22%, transition maximum, size 55% and burn 62. Now we are going to draw houses. Let's create a new layer for this. Change the color to the first one in the second line, this one. And the brush we are going to use is still monoline. And the brush size is 19%. Let's draw some houses like this, just simple shapes. After each line I'm holding my pencil on the screen to make those lines straight. I'm dragging and dropping the color in there. And now I can use this option here at the top, continue filling with recolor. And here I have this little arrow that I can move around to the place that I want to be colored. Just like that. Let's tap here to finish. And now we are going to add some windows to those houses. Let's create a new layer for this. And now change the color to this yellow one. And we are still using the monoline brush, the same size. And we are going to draw some shapes here like this. With one movement of your hand, draw a rectangle. And hold your pencil on the screen when you finish. To get this option here at the top with Edit Shape. Now we can move the points to make the shape that we want. So I'm drawing here rectangles that are a little bit with the perspective. When I finish, I tap my finger on the screen. And I'm going to do more windows like this. And here maybe let's draw like a circle window. And now let's add here a small rectangle. Let's tap on the screen. And now we have to color this inside. So let's drag and drop the color in there. And now we can use this option again, continue filling with recolor. Let's tap here to finish. And now we're going to use the eraser tool to make those windows more detailed. Let's change the brush size to 16%. And we can draw straight lines like this. Now we can erase this middle here. And we have two windows ready. So let's do the same to all the other windows. Okay, this is finished. Now we're going to add some light to the roofs of the houses. Let's create a new layer for this. Let's move it under the layer of the windows and tap on it and set it to clipping mask. This way anything we draw will be visible only on the shape of the houses. Let's change the color to the color that we use for the stars. And now the brush we're going to use here is Soft Brush from Airbrushing. The brush size I'm using is 9%. So now we have to just add some light to the roofs. Like this. It doesn't have to be very precise right now. It's fine, we're going to erase it later. Okay, now let's move on to the eraser tool. Let's change the brush size to 4%. And we can erase some lines like this. This way we're adding some details to the roofs. Now let's change the brush size to big size, to the maximum, and let's erase where the light shouldn't be. So like this under the roof here, here on the edge of the roof. We are going to change the eraser brush to soft brush from brushing, and the brush size will be 3%, and this way we can kind of fade away that light over there. And here I'm just going to quickly add the light to this one more chimney. Okay, now we're going to add some trees behind the houses. Let's make a new layer and move it under the layer of the houses. Let's change the color to this one. And now the brush we're going to use here is in artistic section and it's hearts. The brush size I'm using here is 10%. And I'm just drawing shapes of the trees like this. You can use more or less pressure to get different results. Here at the bottom I'm going to draw some bushes, just like that. Now we can add some branches to those trees. Let's change the brush, let's go to inking and pick Studio Pen. The brush size will be 16%, and we can just draw some lines here like this, in few places, and it will be our branches. Okay, now we can move on and draw some lights. So let's go to the layers and tap on the top layer and create a new layer above it. Let's change the color to this one, first one in the third line. And the brush we're going to use here is monoline. The brush size here will be very small. Let's make it 3%. And let's draw lines like this. Now we are going to add the lights. Let's create a new layer. Change the color to this one. And the brush we're using is still monoline. And the brush size I'm going to use here is 71%. With this brush we can just make some dots along the lines. Now we're going to add the bloom effect here to make these lights shine. So go to the adjustments, pick bloom, and swipe your pencil on the screen, and then change the settings at the bottom. And my settings are here like this. Main slide is 46%, transition 49%, size 35, and burn 87. Let's tap here to finish. And in the end we are going to draw some birds. Let's create a new layer, change the color to this last one here, And the brush we're going to use here will be in inking. It's Studio Pen. And the brush size I'm using here is 11%. Let's draw very simple shapes for birds. Just like this. Nothing complicated. Draw as many birds as you want. Now we can draw also some birds flying. So just a very simple V shape like that. And I think this is enough. And I like to add just a little bit of light to those birds. So let's create a new layer for this. Tap on it and set it to clipping mask. And let's change the color to this one. And now the brush we are going to use here is soft brush. And let's make the brush size very small, 1%. And add just a little bit of light on top of the birds. It won't be very visible, but I think it looks nicer like this. Okay, let's open the layers and we can turn down the opacity of this layer. So tap here and just slide this to the left. Let's make this opacity 70%. And this is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to share your drawing with me, please tag me on Instagram, I would love to see it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!